Hello and welcome everyone to our webinar on how to automate your way into Microsoft Fabric. Very excited to have Andy Leonard with us. Andy knows his way around SSIS and Azure and Fabric, former Microsoft MVP, and I would say data engineer extraordinaire. We also have our CEO, Peter Smalley, who's going to be giving us a quick overview of AnalyticsCreator and an introduction. And Gustavo Leo, who is going to demonstrate what AnalyticsCreator can do in this space. So from a housekeeping perspective, if there are any questions, please drop them in the Q&A and we will attend to those at the end of the session. We're also in a very great position to be able to give away 2 copies of Andy's book, which will be electronic copies thereof, and one will be a lucky draw and the other one will be a participation trophy as such. So let's have some great interaction and have your questions towards the end. Right, Peter, over to you.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah, a very warm welcome also from my side. It's truly an honor to have Andy Leonard with us today, and I think we're really going to hear many exciting insights today. So I won't take too much time today. I just want to give you a short overview of AnalyticsCreator for those who are new in the automation space. So AnalyticsCreator in a nutshell. AnalyticsCreator is a data warehouse automation technology, which is fully metadata driven. This means that you design your business objects, your data objects with a wizard, with intelligent wizard, fully graphically. And the outcome of this is the metadata. And from the metadata, we generate the source code. You can always see the source code on the left side of the window, but at the end, we generate the source code for different Microsoft environments. So you can always choose which way you want to start. So you can start developing on-premise, and later you can migrate without doing so much. You just press the button, generating new, and you have everything what you have done in AnalyticsCreator, you have in Azure. There is no change of code or anything. And also when the technology stack from Microsoft changes, when you do something new, you don't have to change your development because it's metadata driven. And from this metadata, we generate the source code for the new Microsoft stack. Yeah, this is from my side. I like to hand over to Andy.
So thank you, Peter. Thanks, Peter, and thanks, Richard. And I'm looking so forward to Gustavo's part of this webinar. In some data integration, data engineering in data warehousing plays an important role. And not only is it important, but it's also a large part of the project. Any data warehouse is comprised of about 80% of data engineering. And it takes so much time and so much effort to do this part of it because it's a lot of work. It's complex. You have to figure out a lot of the moving parts and mappings and data cleansing, and all of that has to be correct in order for that data warehouse to produce reports in the enterprise that are going to be useful. If you find yourself using some of these reports to do predictive analytics, for instance, the quality of the data in that data warehouse needs to be well north of 99% quality, high quality data, in order for those predictive analytics to stand any chance of helping the enterprise make valid decisions for the future. And so automation assists this by removing a lot of the errors that could happen. Some of them are just easy typos to make. We're all human, and it's very easy to inject a typo into the data. But beyond that, staging this data and moving it through a cleansing process and eventually landing it in either a data warehouse staging area or a data mart, and finally into an enterprise data warehouse, all of those are relatively predictable patterns. That process is easy to repeat if you know how to do it, if you have a tool that can automate that. And a large part of that automation, or the opportunity to automate that, lies in automating the generation of artifacts, such as SSIS packages and Azure Data Factory and Fabric Data Factory pipelines. And it's so cool to see a company like AnalyticsCreator come along and build what I find to be a very intuitive GUI, a great user experience for doing this, and taking a lot of the guesswork, a lot of the opportunity for mistakes, whether they be typos or mistakes from just pattern mismatches and the like, and improving the quality of the data engineering while at the same time greatly improving the speed of the data engineering. And so I'm excited to be part of this. And I've been talking with Gustavo and Richard for a few months now. They reached out and we connected. They did a demo of the product. I was impressed, and I remain impressed. I believe you'll be impressed too as Gustavo walks through this demo, and I'm going to hand it over to him. Gustavo, I can't wait to see what you've got to show us today.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you for the kind words, Andy. For me, it's a real honor to have you on the same stage. So you are my teacher, you are my mentor, yeah, in the data engineering era. So let's start from the beginning. I will open sharing my screen right now. Does everybody can see my screen right now?
Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
Fine.
Good. Great. So first of all, we need AnalyticsCreator. AnalyticsCreator is a desktop application, and it's very, very easy. You just need to sign in with your account, and then you can have access to your application. For this demo, we'll use Northwind database. For doing that using AC, it's very simple also. Just click new to create a new repository. New repository means that's a new metadata repository. So we call it Fabric Northwind. And AnalyticsCreator will automatically generate for us all the metadata catalog, all the metadata warehouse that we need to build our data warehouse without the source, of course, because the source will connect in a few seconds. I'm using SQL Server 2025 for my repository. It's insane fast as well. So let's go ahead to click on this. Yeah, it's finished. So right now, as you can see on the left-hand side, we have all the structure that I mentioned, the connectors, layers, packages, indexes, rows, and we need a connector for doing that. So let me connect right here in our data warehouse. Let me test before load. Just 1 second, yeah. So for doing that, I just need to add a connector. In this case, will be Northwind database, as I mentioned. And for demo purpose, I will expose my credentials here, but it's not a problem. It will be invalid in a few seconds. So it's the Azure database with Northwind. I just need to push save and test the connection. The connection is tested. It means now we can have our data inside of our metadata, inside of AnalyticsCreator. For doing that, we can use several wizards. In this case, I'm using the data warehouse wizard, is the pointing to the connector that we had. As you can see, in seconds, AnalyticsCreator loads all the metadata available in the database. For this demo, I will just select the tables, yes, from Northwind, and then I will select all tables. It's just the selection. Let me see, I made a mistake here. Okay, till all the details. After that is the view, and now automatically push to the data warehouse area, and we will add importation, transformation, persistent transformation layer. So all the layers of a data warehouse. For the demo purpose, we will not add all the details, just to show you how easy it is to add a fact table afterwards. And also we add 3 calculated columns. We do it next. And right here, we can customize some parameters, some configuration, some prefix to the table, some suffix to the tables. We can change the names of it, and also we can implement key fields names, patterns, and etc. So right now we have another options to show the names appearance in the tables, in the data warehouse, if it's uppercase, lowercase, or even we can create our calendar. So we don't need to code our calendar. It will be automatically created. Also with the all layers of our data warehouse we have. And for doing that, we select all the default transformations. It means we are doing the trims. We will do a string new to NA, string max to 8000, also XML to string, to not suffer anymore during the ETL, because all the ETL now is doing by AC. So when you finish, AnalyticsCreator automatically is creating our data warehouse for us, since from the data source to the data mart layer. Let's wait a little bit, just to do a housekeeping here. Okay. So in a few seconds, AnalyticsCreator generates all the data warehouse. And the most important part is we didn't touch any data in the production environment. We did not change anything inside of the production database. It's just the metadata. And of course, because AnalyticsCreator is a pure design tool, it's a metadata-driven studio. As you can see here, you have you can see all the columns that you have. You can see all the code. It's a pure SQL, yeah, no other code, no Ginger, no anything. So as I said, for demo purpose, we'll just add right now the order details. Let me just see here, order details. Sorry, it's far away from my side. Let me amplify that a little bit. Just a second. Order details. Yes, so good. So in order details, we need to add a fact, because in the data mart, we don't have the fact, we have just the dimensions, and we need to add the fact over there. So it's very, very easy. Just go there and click on right click on the mouse, add a transformation. Select as a fact, because we don't want to be a dimension, right? So we don't need to create any configuration here. Just add. For doing that, also it's very important that we add all N-to-1 directory related. It means the fact will be connected with all the dimensions, and also the only one to related. So all the dimensions will be connected together. So right now, we also don't need to do any change. So right here, as you can see, it's another wizard. And it's very important to mention that it's just 10%. You're seeing just 10% of AnalyticsCreator can do, but I'm doing it in a demo purpose to be very, very easy also. So and of course we want this add to our star schema, yeah, to our data mart. And when I push finish, it's automatically create for us the fact table, yeah. But at the fact table created, we also miss some metrics, some measures, yeah. And right now we can add this in our measure, and also we can see that AnalyticsCreator creates a reference, all the tables here, and also all the reference means all the joins that we need, okay? So let's save this and go back to AC. As you can see, right now we have this red acted here. It indicates because AnalyticsCreator always see the project as a design tool, it's a metadata-driven design studio. It's indicate to us something has a problem, and it's clear that it's red. It's clear that we need to add more things here. But let's finish this adding the calculated columns that I mentioned. In this case will be right here, for example, total amount. I'll do just one for the sake of the demo. If someone okay, reference, we don't need the reference because total amount will be calculated column, yeah. So in this case, it's very important because all the details is here. So in all the details is just a matter of adding the calculated column. So in this case will be T1 because T1 we have is all the details that we have, all the informations that we need on all the details. So will be T1 dash web brackets. Oh, sorry. Yes, guys, demos are like this: unit price, unit price, divided by T1 dot quantity. So far so good. We have here our new calculated column, yeah, and as you can see, we can add also a friendly name for this. I will keep the same name. Okay. And AnalyticsCreator now automatically, when I save, automatically add this in my view to be a calculated column, yeah. So it's pure SQL code. It means it's 100% compatible with SQL Server, any version, yeah. So let's sync our data warehouse. Sorry, I push one button. Let's sync and let's see how it goes here. Let's sync. Let's push full, and you'll generate here automatically. And you're gonna see that this object will be created, and also our fact tables under the data mart, yeah, and everything is connected. So over the deployments, we want to create a new deployments, yeah. So for the deployments, we need a name of the deployments. Also, we need a database. In this case, we're gonna use Fabric SQL. So right now, our name will be Fabric Node 1, the name of our project. Because the AnalyticsCreator is 100% compatible with SQL Server, we can even deploy the DAG pack. We're gonna choose this. And also for Andy pleasure, also because Andy is a reference in SSIS world, we can deploy it using SSIS packages, or we can use in ADF. In this case, I will use ADF. And also we can create the new Power BI project, the new Power BI format, the TMDL project. It means all our project will be deployed in a single Power BI project ready to be executed, right? So right now we are missing the SQL Server. Let me get here the SQL Server database. I don't know why it's shut down. Okay. So to create the SQL Server database, it's very, very easy. Just go to the Power BI. Let me show to you guys. Okay. So once you are in Power BI, of course in Fabric, right? You just need to create a new item, yeah? So just go there and create a SQL. And you can see the SQL database preview. We call it Fabric North Wind. I think my connection broke, but I'm back. Richard, can you signalize over in the chat that you can listen me?
You're fine.
Yeah, okay. So right now, Fabric creates our database for us. The only thing that we need here, as you can see, there's only a DPO schema over here. The only thing that we need is our connection strings, right? Because Fabrics need to be our SQL Server database. So for doing this, we just need to copy the server name. Yeah. Let's go back to server name. And also, we can't choose the database name because it's generated by Fabric. So we need to copy the database name from them. And we need to choose the connection AD because it will be handled by Microsoft. It will be handled by Microsoft Entra ID. So let's copy here my connection string. And right now, let me save this again. Yeah. And of course, it's the Power BI project here. Let's see how it goes. How many artifacts we create. So just push and deploy. And then you're going to see in a few seconds that, first of all, AnalyticsCreator push all the project for you. Yes, it create a new folder. It's indicating is today, right? And inside of this folder, we'll generate the DAG pack, of course, and also all the others, artifacts in the database. But it's not only generating the DAG pack, we'll automatically deploy the DAG pack to inside of the database. In a few seconds, we can see that. Richard, if has any questions, if anybody has any questions, I think we can use right now. But feel free to do it afterwards. Also, I'm not sure how many time I have.
Gustavo, there is a question from, I'm going to try not to butcher this name, but Tuta Mario asked a really good question about what do you use for infrastructure as code from migration from on-premises to a cloud? And an example is Terraform.
If I understand correctly, is asking about data warehouse migration, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so in AnalyticsCreator, we don't use Terraform, but we can use it, yeah, in some way. But we use version control using Git because all the code is SQL, so you don't need to care about something like this. But in the infrastructure, we are not gaming over there because our solution is just for the metadata for the data warehouse, not the server itself. I think I answered the question, didn't I?
Yeah. And
Okay.
I think too, when you were going through your demo, you were selecting targets like SSIS or Azure Data Factory. You have that capability as well. And I believe that's powerful for moving from on-premises, and not just from on-premises to in the cloud, because you can have SSIS on-premises, you can have it in an Azure Data Factory, Azure SSIS integration runtime, but you could also generate from AnalyticsCreator native Azure Data Factory pipelines. So you can also change platforms right inside the tool, and it obviates that need, at least in part, to be concerned about how you're going to perform such a migration from on-premises to the cloud. And I don't know if you're ready to continue, Gustavo. If you are, he has one more question. If you're ready to continue, please do.
Yeah, let's take the question, and then I go forward.
Okay. Another great question from Tuta is, how do you treat data quality issues for unstructured data? And the example here is sensor data collected from machines. I'm going to assume manufacturing and probably programmable logic controllers, PLCs, or human machine interfaces, HMIs. And Tuta continues, in many cases, these errors are not predictable or a wrong deployment or hardware errors. I've seen all of those when I've worked with manufacturing. And I know some of your customers are using AnalyticsCreator in manufacturing industrial environments. Gustavo, what is your answer to that?
Yeah, for sure. If I correct, it's Tuta Mario. So how do I say? The major customers have this pain, but they treat the data before ingesting. There's no other options. Yeah, you need to collect the data. You need to structure the data, even if it's unstructured. To be analyzed, it will be structured. So will be tablet. Yeah. So you need to create a structure, and of course with IC it's very easy because you define all the metadata. So the chance of your data hit the production without the correct specification it's way more. It's less than the normal scenario. Yeah, but you should structure your data because otherwise you have a bunch of data. You have a data lake without quality. Yeah, we have seen in so many not so long ago that big data is not about the massive data but the quality. But you should treat the data. It doesn't have, and nowadays and also in the past there's no silver bullet for that. You should treat the data. You should structure for data. Yeah. So
we
let's
agree.
Go ahead.
I'll just a minute. I'll just join you. I agree with that, and I cringe a little bit when I hear other vendors talk about they don't need data staging. They don't need a medallion architecture where they start at a bronze layer and then cleanse that data. I think it's important if you start with structured data. It's even more important if that data is unstructured. You have to get it to some spot where you can apply data quality rules to it. And I don't have a good answer for you on applying data quality to unstructured data in its unstructured state. I totally agree with what Gustavo said. Structure it first, then check it.
Yeah. Also, I might give you a heads up. If the product is too complex, the product is the complexity, not solve the problem. The problem is selling you the complexity. Yeah. like three words names of the other products. Yeah. So let's go ahead. As you can see here, we have now AnalyticsCreator with our Northwind database with all the schemas. Yeah, it's gonna load a little bit. So we have CFG, DBO, data warehouse itself, importation, log for ETL historization schema, that ones we interest us, but we miss the data because right now we just deploy the metadata and then we need to deploy the data. So for doing that, we just need ADF. So ADF, it's a powerful tool. It's been a while, and also inside of Fabric, you can mount ADF for you connect. Yes. So because AnalyticsCreator generates everything for you, you just need to import the data. Of course, we can make a pipeline deployment to doing so, but in this case, for the sake of the demo, we are importing using our ARM templates. So we just need to click on ARM templates and import in Azure portal. Yeah. So for doing that, as I mentioned before, AnalyticsCreator generates everything for us. Yeah. So generate, of course, the Fabric Northwind JSON. That means it's our ARM template. So let me copy as a path here. And right now we need to load the file. When I load the file, you're gonna see that it's 47 resources to be imported, one variable and one parameter. It's very simple. And of course, will be validated before we ingest that, right? So when I push review and create, automatically ADF automatically validate the structure of the resources that I push, and will give me, let me see, okay, will give me a log. Yes, for the importation, for the state of the importation. Yeah, but not only this, because we are using ADF, we need after this also configure the linked servers to be running in the Azure. Since I'm doing it, yes, the 47 all good. Yeah, and since I'm doing it using ADF, I need the linked servers. Yeah. So in the linked servers will be inside of ADF, and also afterwards we can go to Power BI. So for the linked server in the data warehouse part will be, of course, will be this SQL Server from the Power BI. Yes, let me take it again. So if I go here to SSIS, will be the SQL Server here, and also the database name. And it's very important at one point that we don't need to worry about the security, the configuration, because we add this inside of our workspace. So in our workspace right now, as you can see, we have the AnalyticsCreator service principal. Yeah. So if I try to add it again, it's already there. Let me see. I can try to add again. Okay. But the most important thing is we don't need to worry about security and configuration, setting networks and everything. So right now, the data warehouse where the data will be deployed, it's okay. And also the Northwind database that we have, it's a bit easier because it's under my Azure account. Let me delete this one because they insist to doing. Yeah. So let's pass my password. I'm not using Enter ID for everything. Yeah. So let's test. Okay. Let's wait a little bit to publish because I'm using version control here. And get back here to show. I'll show inside of ADF and also Power BI Fabric, sorry. So I validated all the pipelines. There's no errors, right? We can, as you can see, we have historization pipeline with all the 47 objects that we prepare, yeah. But let's do it inside of Power BI because inside of Fabric, sorry, because there's a functionality here. Factory, we can mount our data, our pipeline here, our ADF pipeline. So let's select this and be in a single place, in a single mount, in a single screen. Yeah. So we have it here. And for demo purpose, I will just debug the workflow package. It is the one that manages all the packets, and we'll push some data inside of our data warehouse. So let me validate this again. No errors. Yeah. Good debug. We'll ADF will warm up in a few seconds and show us the execution here. If there is any other questions, Andy or Richard, feel free.
So Tuta had one more question about data connectors, which data connectors are available for data sources, and examples are SAP, ERP, R3 on premises.
Yeah. We do have a special connector for SAP metadata. It's out of the box, yes. So, and also we have DuckDB, for example, if you wish to use read big CSVs or Parquet files, or if you want to prepare the CSV before you ingest all the CSV, right? We do have, and any connector that you wish, even if it's not connected to AnalyticsCreator, we can use Parquet file, for example. If you want to, for security reasons or for compliance, you want to use your connectors, that's not a problem at all. We can read the Parquet file and read the metadata from the Parquet file and then build the data warehouse. So that's it. And now we have all the data ingested inside of our database. And let's see how it goes. Let me open another screen here of Fabric and push here. Let's see, for example, the categories, I think. Yeah. Over the star schema. We can see the view categories. It can be customers, there's no problem. And I can select the top 1000. And all the data are inside of Fabric in just a couple of seconds, yes. So, but it's not at all, yes. We can have, for example, our Power BI project, yes, and we can open our PBIP. So the PBIP is the Power BI project integrated in the same window, in the same program, yeah, that we have using AC. So of course we need to point, yeah, the database, but it's all the same. Let me wait a little bit to refresh, because we will refresh all the entities that we have, and we, of course, we need to approve all the native queries. Yes, it's mandatory in Power BI. We cannot disable this. I don't know what is going on here. Okay, it's just the first time that you need to approve the native queries, yes. So of course that we are running SQL Server, then we are using the best practice, of course, using query folding, yes. If you can add something about query folding, Andy, I really appreciate, because I do understand, but I'm not the expert, yeah. So the query folding, at my point of view, is the way we do the queries here, is the best way of SQL Server will handle the queries, and SQL Server will handle all the queries. And of course that we have the model, we have all the model connected, so we don't need to build the relationships anymore. It's already there. And we can also, that I've not mentioned here in the demo, is we can add measures inside of our star, because star it's a schema on our database, but also we can have DAX measures here. So we can add the DAX measures inside of AC. It means all the lineage, because the lineage automatically, all the lineage will be together with this. Okay, I think I can stop from now, Richard and everybody. I'm more than happy to ask you any questions, even if it's not right now, right here. I can answer the question on LinkedIn and or by email, right?
Thank you, Gustavo. There is one more question. Maybe you can answer this one. Is it possible to deploy to the warehouse engine in Fabric? It asks.
Not yet. We are working on that, but not yet. It's on research phase. The data warehouse engine in Fabric works a little bit different, but I might say we are close, but I cannot give you any dates on it.
Also,
Go ahead, Richard.
I suppose a $1 million question that everybody always asks in data engineering. Is it possible to handle schema evolution, like source target or schema changes?
Of course. The way AC handles that is very easy. So because we are doing only the metadata, you're gonna ingest the new metadata, of course, with the schema changes, and then inside of AC you merge your repo. Then you can handle the schema changes. Of course, to adding or to removing column doesn't matter, because it's all in Git. Yes, all version controlled, so it's not a problem at all. To see the pipeline with the error of pipeline, AC will raise up error for you immediately. Yeah. That's all.
That looks like it is it. If there are any more questions, please drop them in the Q&A.
Yeah, thank you, Gustavo, for this great presentation. It was really great. Yeah. Did you know Gustavo is responsible at AnalyticsCreator for the new wiki? It's the new wiki is it's published, but we're still improving, and it's also important for you to know that the new version of the wiki is so good and easy that you can go through with the trial version of AnalyticsCreator. There are many manuals and also videos, explanations how to do create a data warehouse on SAP, how to do it on Dynamics, how to do it there and there. Yeah, and this helps a lot. And yeah, I would say when you're interested in the trial version, just write us an email or go to our website and ask for the trial. There's a big button there, and you just fill out the form, and within 24 hours you will get a link for downloading the software, and you can play around and can use the wiki and everything, and you can also ask Gustavo. So prior to them, you have always a call to Gustavo, yeah? Where you explain what you want to achieve, what you want to do, how is your environment, and he will guide you through. Yeah, he's always there for you. So if you need also some documents, white papers, or how AnalyticsCreator is working in detail, we just made some documentations also new on them. Ask us, we will send it to you. Yeah, if you have further questions, use your chance. Andy is here, and he's happy to answer your questions. Also, Gustavo, maybe someone.
Yeah. I think maybe really if we can have Andy's thoughts on that approach of deploying to or automating into Fabric.
Yeah, it's a great demo that Gustavo just showed on the deployment into Azure Data Factory. And I was particularly impressed with the fact that you brought in order details as a dimension first and demonstrated just how easy it was to implement a change. I think that was a good example of handling schema evolution, as Raj asked in his question. And it's just, AnalyticsCreator facilitates those changes that are inevitable. The data evolves over time. Data warehouses evolve. Sources are added. Sources are modified. And AnalyticsCreator, as Gustavo said in his response, is all metadata. So it's just a matter of opening up the user interface, re-ingesting from that modified source, and then regenerating the artifacts, the pipelines, packages, and then redeploying them. And it's a very smooth process. The graphics in the user interface there in AnalyticsCreator surface those changes, new data types, new columns, removed columns. And it does a very good job of presenting that to the developer. And as Gustavo said, I like this phrase. He said, in just a few clicks, you can deploy those updates and in a merge fashion. So very impressed with that. I guess, Richard, we have a few minutes left. I know that we mentioned giving away one of my books. It's the last book that that's been published so far. The second edition of Building Custom Tasks in SSIS. And the first edition of that book, I think, was just under 200 pages long. The second edition was close to 700 pages. So suffice it to say, I wrote a little more on the topic. But I had a little more time at the time, which is good and bad as a consultant who also manages products and is an author. If I have enough time to write, that means I'm not working on products or consulting. So it's a bit of a good news, bad news scenario. But it was a few years ago the book came out, and I'm not really sure who to award the participation trophy to, Richard. I don't know. Who do you think should get that copy?
I think it's a difficult one. We've had some really, really good, interesting questions. I think that do sit on engineers or developers' minds quite often. I think the first one definitely should go to Tutor.
I think that's a good call. Yeah, great questions to start us off, and being the first to ask a question, you should get credit for that as well, breaking the ice.
I had a conversation with a client today, and I hope he's also here. And he's exactly interested in custom SSIS developments. Really, it was actually the day, and he did not know that we have exactly this conversation today. And I hope he joined. He wanted. I was just in the car and then called to him, and he found our mail, and I think he joined. Yeah, And definitely I will buy one book from you and send it to him.
Awesome. So I don't know if you understand how books work for authors, but I will take that money and get me a cup of coffee from Starbucks. That's about, no, it's a little bit more than that, but not much. It's a good thing though. I don't write. Yeah, I don't write to make money. I really enjoy writing. So, and it's difficult to explain to authors who write and are expecting to make lots of money doing it. You can, but not directly from the writing. That's what I tell people. It's great if you're a consultant because people see you publish a book. They think that consultant knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, it works out for that. But what a coincidence. You were speaking with someone just today about that. Wow.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And can I order in Amazon? I guess it's possible, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I'm going to drop the link in the chat to Andy's book to Amazon for those that are interested in it.
And maybe we send all to them also with email the links and also to the trial version and whatever. Yeah, docs what they need. Yeah.
Yeah, the AnalyticsCreator. I think it's AnalyticsCreator.com is the website. If you want to drop that in there as well, and that's where you can get the trial version. That's where I picked it up, and there's no substitute for working with the product to get familiar with it and just see what it can do. And if you're interested in data engineering at all, there's really no better way to learn data engineering than to start playing around with it, to try things and see how they work. You're going to have questions, and you can pop into your favorite search engine if you'd like, although I'm pretending I'm wearing a watch. It is September 2025. I don't use search engines anymore. I go to an AI prompt and ask them, and you get different answers, some of them better than others. But there's a lot to be learned out there, a lot of knowledge that's just available at your fingertips here in September 2025. And just do that, tinker, play. There's no substitute for that.
Yeah, also I would like to change a little bit here the topics to ask Andy about his thoughts about SSIS in SQL Server 2025.
You know, I haven't seen it there yet. Release candidate 0 of SQL Server 2025 came out, I think it was last week. I have to confess, I did download some of the early versions of SQL Server 2025. I've not yet downloaded release candidate 0. I haven't had time. I confess I'm busy. I know I know Richard and Peter and Gustavo and everyone at AnalyticsCreator is also busy, so you certainly understand. I don't have any indication that it's not going to be there. All of the indications are that that Microsoft's going to continue supporting SSIS. It's been around now for, gosh, almost 20 years. And that's a long time for a platform. But I recently had a conversation with a friend, and he asked me a very similar question. What do you think the future of SSIS is? And it's a fair question for a platform that's been around that long. I made an analogy with him in response to the language COBOL. And I'm not advocating that college students, I have a college student, my youngest daughter's at Virginia Tech studying computer science. I haven't recommended that she take classes on COBOL at this time, but the fact remains a lot of the world's banking systems specifically still run on COBOL. And I'm going to go into my thoughts on that in a blog post and newsletter upcoming. But the short answer is this is software that's way older than 20 years. COBOL dates back into when years began with a 1, the previous century, the previous millennium, if you want to go there. And the fact that it's old doesn't mean that it doesn't work. And it doesn't mean that it's still not useful. And I know for a fact, a number of people in banking have engaged in projects to replace COBOL, and some of them have been successful, but many of them just haven't been. And the software works. It just works. So a number of people still just use and maintain that software. And I see the same thing happening with SSIS on premises specifically, is a number of people keep it running on premises because there's regulations that may keep them from pushing their data or their processes into the cloud. There's, in addition to that, there's some best practices. Maybe the customer base or the people maintaining that data in an enterprise, it makes them nervous putting the data in the cloud. It seems like every week I get a notification of a data breach, and keeping that data on premises doesn't prevent data breaches, but it does mitigate it some. And so there's a lot of reasons to look at something like SSIS, in addition to the topic of my book and Peter's conversation with a potential client earlier today. If you need a custom task or custom component to be developed in your data engineering solution, if you need that, your options are somewhat limited. Can you code things up and put them into? There are a lot of solutions that do that, but encapsulate it in a task that shows up in the toolbox that developers could just drag and drop. Well, you can't do that with Azure Data Factory or Fabric Data Factory today. You can do it with SSIS though. So if you need that, where else are you going to go for that sort of stuff? If you've already got SSIS running in your enterprise, that's where I think the analogy to COBOL really comes into play. It's not broke, why fix it? So my gut tells me that there's a number of reasons why SSIS will remain viable and supported in the Microsoft ecosystem in SQL Server 2025 and beyond. It goes beyond just what we're talking about here, data engineering. SSIS is used in the import-export wizard. It's used in maintenance plans. And that a lot of people don't realize that those are SSIS packages that are running behind the scenes. So I don't look for it to go away anytime soon. Eventually, sure. But I think it's going to be a while yet.
Great. So it's with you, Richard.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, thank you very much, Andy, for your time and joining us. And for the rest of our attendees, thank you very much. We will send out an email in due course with a recording of the session, as well as some information. Yes, thanks very much for joining us, and keep an eye out for our next exciting webinars that are coming up. Thank you all.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot joining us. Bye-bye. Thank you, Andy. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Gustavo, Richard, everybody. Bye-bye.